No, jobs are never produced. Jobs are never produced.
That's absolutely not true. There's people maintaining those wind farms. There's people designing those wind farms. The problem is we don't invest in it, and then the Chinese take off and run with it because we're not putting any money into it.
No, if you can't get around the basic laws of physics, all these are good ideas. Wind farms are great ideas.
Well,
electric
New York
cars.
City, when they have to spend hundreds of billions of dollars to build walls.
I'll tell you, there's only one thing that'll do it the way we're headed. One thing is our need for energy, especially if you people, these environmental people say, yeah, electric cars, plug-in hybrids, yeah. They don't realize all these cars are going to be connected to the grid. They think electric cars run on nothing.
Do you realize how much energy hits this planet every second?
Not enough to run a car.
Yes, there is. If you're charging it off the grid.
Even if you had 100% efficient solar panels, do the math.
It's much more efficient than oil. It's way more efficient. Especially when you take into consideration the cost, and this is the part you're leaving out, the cost of building walls around Miami, building walls around Satellite Beach so we don't flood out in the next 200 years.
We don't do it.
Yeah, but that money comes out of you.
I thought it came to an RC meeting.
Have a job in the oil industry just so we could pay for the cleanup in places like.
Well, we shouldn't be paying for people that have jobs in the oil industry.
Well,
but
we are. We give them subsidies.
Look and see.
It's obscene. I have stock in Mobil, and it's obscene the tax write-offs you get. It's absolutely obscene.
Now that I agree with.
They say, oh, it's so much efficient. Yeah, let's take away, before we take away the money from poor people, let's take away the hundreds of billions of dollars we're spending on corporations that are making hundreds of billions of dollars.
They don't need subsidies.
So what you got to do? You got to stop electing people who won't do that.
What you got to do is first, and one thing is people like that, they look at a business, but what you have to do is look at it. Remember the first law of physics: energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So what you do is you say, well, I want solar energy, or wind energy. Well, let's use solar energy as a matter of fact. And I want to have a car, and I want to drive it like people normally drive cars. And you always outlaw cars if you want. That clean up the environment. You could do that. So let's say we want to drive cars basically as we do today. We want SUVs. We want 6-seat vans for our family.
I walk here, so see,
right. And you don't have a young family, but a lot of people do. Okay.
Practical on me.
Yeah, I do that every once in a while. Yeah, you say, well, I'm going to run this off of solar energy. Okay. I work at the Space Center. Okay. I have a round trip commute over 100, almost 200 miles. Okay. Well, I want to do that. Okay. I can't do another job. Okay. Now you're right. I can quit my job. I can come out here and live a flyer. I could do that. But let's say we want to do things as they are now. Now do the math and assume 100% efficient solar panel. 100%. Every bit of energy that's coming to that area of the ground it'll never be, but assume that. Now tell me how many acres I would need per car. Do the math.
Yeah, but if that solar panel's in your backyard, you're not paying anybody.
I'm going to use your launch pad.
I can do it.
I'm going to try to go 100% FPV.
Whole house with 15 solar panels.
See, he switched. Do you see how he switched from cars to houses?
Yeah,
and he's
see,
right.
that's where I'm going to plug in my car. Okay. That's where I'm going to plug in my car.
No. Your car uses more electricity than your house. Okay. I think there's another way to think about it.
Yeah, the first, yeah, but you weren't right at the beginning of the technical there.
No. The government is not going to pass a law that changes the laws of physics. Don't pay for your kids to. That was
the problem with people who make it like
Congress can make laws. You can't change the laws of physics. They can do whatever they want up there in their fancy seats in Washington in their office. Whoa.
You know why we don't have solar panels? You know why we don't have hydrogen legislators for energy? Because the oil companies.
There's a lot of people that say that, and there's some truth to that.
They don't own that, and they'll never own that, and that's why the government.
Yeah, it's the same thing for wind energy. Look at those huge wind turbines. Okay, which have their own problem. I don't like to think of that. They're on a heck of that. You know,
There's no problems with birds and bats on windmills.
That formerly pristine area of North Canada which is totally scraped clean and looks like a freaking, sand pit with oil all over the place, tar sands.
Well, I'm not saying oil is the answer.
XL pipeline,
You know what?
which is going to bring
There's
zero oil.
There's only
to the
one
United
answer,
States.
because you can get around the laws of physics. There's only one way. The laws of physics say energy cannot be created, destroyed. Except, there is an except in that law. The except is Einstein. Exactly Einstein. What did he say?
You can borrow it.
No, he did, but what did he say? He said an equation he's very well known for. E equals something. He's equating energy. You know what that really means? I mean, everybody says E equals MC squared. Oh, yeah, nobody knows what that means. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. He's equating mass and energy. Okay? Energy cannot be created or destroyed except if you have a nuclear power plant, actually creates currents and mass into energy. No, I'm talking about a regular conventional nuclear power plant we have today.
The only problem with that is the waste. That's it.
No, that's not really possible. That's a political thing. It's not a problem at all. How many
Store it. I'll tell you where you store it. Yes, you can. There's an easy place to store it. You go to the bottom of the ocean, and you go to the deepest part, and you can be 3 feet from the deadliest nuclear radiation down there.
That's true. There's tons of pressure. Well, no,
The pressure in the salt water.
Yeah, but that's like
wait a minute. No, it's not. No, it's not. What do you know how a water moderated reactor works? Okay, what's in the ocean? Water. Study how a water modulated reactor works. I'm not saying that's what we should build. Okay. But you look, there's several downed nuclear submarines. Many downed nuclear submarines. Okay. What has ever happened?
It's like a time bomb.
No.
It's like Japan.
No.
I believe that's
How many people were killed in Japan? No. By the reactor accident, like Fukushima. How many people died?
Let's go to the other.
3 or 4 died, one of a heart attack. A handful of people. How many people died in Chernobyl?
Lots.
No.
Nobody knows.
No, it was like 18.
About 4 or 5.
How many? 40 people killed cleaning it up. They went in and they sacrificed their lives to clean it up.
How many coal workers died?
Plus, there was incidents of cancer in Chernobyl. The incidence of cancer in the Chernobyl area is now 10 times.
The point is, first of all, learn about nuclear energy. Don't believe the hype. Okay? Okay. Is it? Where? Where's contaminated?
All that radiation goes. They're dumping. They're trying to store how many 60,000 gallons of contaminated radiated rock in tanks every day.
And you know what the scientists
Is that
say?
going to go on for 50 years?
You know what the scientists say?
Use thorium.
It's not going to hurt anything. Alright? It's not going to hurt
The
anything.
ocean's a finite.
Okay, let me ask you this. What's radiation?
I don't know, but it killed.
You don't know, but you're bothered by it. How many people die from radiation every year? Total. Everything. Nuclear accidents, everything. How many people?
Probably none.
Well, a few. No, it's not none.
Anybody who's got skin cancer dies.
Okay.
Why is it so strong?
Because a lot of it is hype. I'll tell you another funny story.
It's true.
Okay. Well, first of all, you can go to the hype is the radiation first of all. Receiving radiation.
But not in that concentration.
Okay. And what?
We got your sunscreen on?
Oh, like those cool. No way to cool. They would have gone right down like the China syndrome.
No, the China syndrome's false.
And so what happens to them down there?
Well, nothing good.
Anything
Bad.
bad?
If they get in the water supply, if they get in the water supply, here's the
Go
part
ahead.
that he's leaving
I'm
out.
listening.
Couldn't it potentially destroy the earth?
He's leaving out the hundreds of thousands of people who can't live in Fukushima. There's the cause right there.
You know, first of all, let me tell you a couple other things.
Hot, boiling hot rock. Start slipping down into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
to the Florida
Wait a minute.
Oh, no problem.
Let me ask you something silly. Where do we get the stuff to run a nuclear reactor?
Out of the ground.
Where do we get uranium? Bingo! It's natural.
Yeah, but it's not above my aquifer.
Would you like one of those rods, like right here on you?
I will tell you
could
what.
get within a month.
No, that's not true. Okay, probably not true. Okay, now if I actually had a whole fuel rod right on me, yes, maybe.
Well, that's
Okay.
no.
Yeah, it's a little thing. Okay. I have a website for radiation. I study radiation. I have several radiation meters. Yes, I have several.
Back in the bar.
I mean, outlaw water then. You're right. You gotta get rid of those oceans. We gotta do something about that. That's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head. That's how you think of it. That's exactly right. I would not want a fuel rod in my lawn. I wouldn't want water in my lawn. But it's perfectly okay in the ocean.
Maybe I'm susceptible to all these crazy
Yeah.
crackpots, and okay.
Yeah.
What if these fuel rods? Because I would think
Hold
there's
on
a
a
very
second. Before you
easy-
get on the fuel rods, let me tell you something about fuel rods and nuclear waste. Okay? Because of our stupid...
You obviously know a lot more than I do, but maybe I'm.
Yes, I have physics training, and I run a website on nuclear radiation and pocket radiation meters.
So you're kind of pro-nuclear.
No, nuclear is the only answer.
It is the only answer.
It may not be the best
Power of
answer.
the future. That's the power of the future.
It is.
Look at just the opposite.
You know,
I think
even
that's the
Greenpeace,
stupidest-
even Greenpeace changed their mind on that.
Yep.
Even Greenpeace has changed their mind.
Everybody's.
Nuclear power, when I have spent fuel and I have it in
Yeah.
a fuel rod, I've got that contained. It's right here. I can bury it. I can put it in the ocean. I can put it in the vault. Yes, I have to do that. Yes, it's not good. Yes, that particular spot is going to be highly radioactive for thousands of years. Okay.
And you
However,
have to spend money. The only reason you have that energy is nuclear energy is because it's cheap. But you don't realize
nuclear
you
energy
have
is
to.
not
You,
cheap.
it's going to cost you money when the light electricity, when the light bulb burns. After the electricity, after it's burned out, there is nothing you have to store for 10,000 years. But with radiation, you're spending money. Which doesn't make sense, but you're spending money to maintain the energy that you got out of it.
Is it? Yeah, but it's not that it's not like that. People live in Chernobyl today because it's just not radioactive anymore.
If you go with more nuclear plants every year, your stockpile is going to go up exponentially.
That's just in a 1960 design, in a modern design.
nuclear power plants
Okay,
they
I
generate
made that
twice.
part up.
Well, if you make things up, we can go with your
Because it's
idea.
supposed to help my...
No, I'll tell you something else.
I exaggerated on that.
I'll tell you a couple interesting facts about energy. One of the big problems with nuclear waste is the laws. Anything that was exposed to certain parts of the reactor, whether or not it is actually radioactive, is nuclear waste.
Cement, steel.
The smocks they go in, and once they cross a certain line, okay, they go in, they come out. Now that white smoke
See you next week.
waste. You could sleep with that under your pillow for your entire life, and it would never harm you. But it is considered legally radioactive waste, and it must be disposed of as such.
It has higher radiation than, say,
No, none, zero, zilch.
no radiation
No
at all.
detectable
Well,
radiation
that's
at
just,
all.
they're hiding behind something that makes sense.
Okay,
So they have to store those suits
I think
in
we
a special
chased away
container.
yes, as radioactive waste.
Well,
And when you
that's
say
just-
so
that's
many
just
tons,
stupidity then, because
exactly.
It's not like they already have enough to store forever.
If you were actually talking about storing what is truly radioactive,
Right.
first of all, I think you can see now what you said about exponentially is wrong. It's linearly. If you have two
Okay,
way action,
well,
it's
but
twice as much.
It sounded good.
If you take that away, the nonsensical stuff that is in actuality harmless, but legally defined as radioactive waste, storing it wouldn't be nearly as big a problem. You would have, not exponentially decrease, but have the nuclear waste you store when you had plenty of nuclear power plants.
Okay, give me some of the negative things that I can say. This is why.
Well, the thing is what's the alternative? Coal and oil? That goes into the atmosphere. Which is easier to deal with? If I hand you this and tell you, this is dangerous, go deal with this.
Oh, I wouldn't want to touch it. I would say keep it. You should never have made that in the first place.
Okay. You're right. Again, we can always stop and come out here and make fires out here.
Don't bury it because somebody that's just sweeping the dirt under the rug.
Or I can say, okay, up there's coal exhaust from conventional power plants, coal and oil. Go clean that. Here, you go deal with this and bury it in the ground, or go clean that. Which is an easier job?
Well, you guys need to look up thorium reactors, which consumes waste from uranium reactors. And then it's, you clean, it's a win-win. You produce electricity and you clean the spent rods. So who loses there?
Right.
You know?
And you can have fission and fusion reactors once we get the technology for fusion reactors. Fuse stuff into uranium and then burn it in the uranium back to
They clean it up and they color it to make it look white and pretty.
fusion and fission back and
Or to
forth.
focus
Yep.
too much and all.
It's too windy to FPV. The whole time I was flying this thing, I was like, whoa! Oh.
Do another
Every time I did a turn, I went over there.
I would immediately, if I were king for today.
I got a lot of noise in my video too. It's very noisy, and I don't know why, because I had perfect video before, and I'm not sure why I have noise now, but we'll figure it out.
That's what I was trying to think of. Fossil fuels. Okay, you cannot add any fossil fuel power to the grid. No coal, no that is
How would
dangerous.
you do that? That would send the tailspin.
Well, no, because I'm saying,
You know, you do it on a
okay.
gradually, like.
What you do is build more nuclear. And the other thing is, one of the stupidest things we ever did is shut down high energy what was that called? The place? Cold fusion, there may or may not be nuclear. I'm talking about regular fusion, nuclear fusion.
Thorium.
That's not cold. There's nothing cold about that. That's regular.
It's just entirely too windy for a 250 quad.
I'm going to tell you what cold fusion is. Okay? First of all, okay, you know the difference between fusion and fission, the words. Right. Fusing means putting together. Fusing means putting together. Fissioning means splitting apart. A fissure. Like a fissure in the ground is where the ground is blown apart. Okay?
And only one creates radiation.
No, that's not true.
The sun, well, shit.
Never got sunburned? That's the biggest source of radiation. Who put that thing up there unshielded? We should outlaw that.
Wait a minute. Yeah, it is destroying the ozone was not intact for us. In a day would be like.
Yeah, you know, they say, you've heard the stories about that people in an airplane, they see
Everything above absolute zero radiates, actually.
Well,
Every single thing.
Nuclear ionizing, that's one other thing people don't ionizing radiation. All people on their phone. People talk on their cell phones too much. They could get brain damage like that. Okay. You've heard that. Okay.
Okay, how does that happen? The electronics. How do the electronics give off radiation?
You know how cell phones work.
I mean,
Or better than how is he controlling that quadcopter without any wires attached?
radio signals.
Yeah, it's radiation.
Radio signals send out radiation.
Radio signals are radiation. Radio signals are. I'm talking about radiation. I'm trying to stay out of the sun here. Okay.
Trying to stay out of the radiation.
I'm trying to stay out of the radiation. Exactly. Exactly. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it's good.
Okay, well, now go ahead with your.
Alright. Phones, radio controlled transmitters, the video systems we use, radio, AM, FM radio, is all radiation. It's RF
But
radiation.
it's so minute that
No.
you couldn't even, with the Geiger counter, which flip.
You're right, a Geiger counter doesn't measure that at all. There's two kinds of things we call radiation. Okay? Light is radiation. If I turn a light bulb on, something comes out of that light bulb, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I mean, that is so low.
It's not low, it cooks your food.
It'll burn you if you touch it.
How long would you like to spend in a microwave oven? Okay? You ever put a bug in a microwave? Well, bugs do fine, but okay. That's radiation plus.
Depends on how much water's in their system.
All talk about nuclear radiation. They're two entirely different things.
I want to go back to high school and you can be my.
Okay. Well, they should. They should teach this in
Why
high
are you
school.
so much more interested?
It's because unfortunately, well, they don't. First of all, one of the big problems in this country is they don't pay teachers enough to be professionals to know this stuff.
Okay, well,
Teachers are
get back on
babies.
that. Get back on that.
Okay. So there's two types of radiation. There's electromagnetic radiation, which is every form of communications we know. There is no magic Harry Potter stuff. If
That was
something,
but an atomic
no, I'm not talking
Let's
about
talk this type of energy that wipes out all electronics. Well, they
yes,
overlap.
yes, and so does the sun. The sun is making light. You see that? Did you ever notice the sun makes light? Yes. Exactly.
Excited photons.
Exactly. That's what we mean by electromagnetic radiation.
That's the sun. Electromagnetic.
Look around, you see any light coming from the sun? Dark in the day, dark at night, light in the day. Okay? It's electromagnetic radiation. It creates radio waves too, at all kinds of different frequencies. There's a lot of
And it
forms
has
of.
zero radiation.
It has zero.
This is radiation.
It does have radiation. These are tight. The sun makes all kinds of different things. It makes both. The sun makes both ionizing and non-ionizing radiation. Not only that, both are dangerous in high quantities. Both are harmful in small quantities. Okay.
It might take me a week to figure this out.
If I have a
When
chunk
get
of
home, I'll
uranium,
figure it out. I know he was wrong.
if I have a chunk of uranium, it's not creating radio waves.
Well, that's good. That's a natural
Okay.
occurring element?
It's a naturally occurring element. What happens?
What is it again?
Uranium.
Well, uranium. That's natural.
There's different isotopes of uranium. Some
Different types of uranium too, by the way.
Yes, yes.
That's natural. Where does that occur in the ground?
Every place. One of the biggest places where we have radioactive radiation happens to be in this state in the United States called Florida. You ever hear of radon problems in the houses? Okay. That's because a lot of some imported and some local homes are unknowingly built with naturally occurring radioactive rocks. The stuff they use for drywall. The sand that they use to make the drywall.
Now, where does this stuff, when it formed like coal billions of years ago, where did it get this radiation from?
Didn't form like coal.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
like, for instance.
Yeah, I got atoms, and the very simplest atom is hydrogen. Hydrogen has one.
That's what's in the sun.
It's every place. Hydrogen is the most ubiquitous thing in the universe. Okay, there is no place in the universe where there's not hydrogen. Okay, it's what the space shuttle used for fuel. Okay, it's what was in the Hindenburg. Okay, it's hydrogen. Helium then has two protons and two neutrons in its nucleus. periodic table? Okay. Now, when you get up there and you get into some of the heavier elements, and you keep packing more and more and more atoms, in more and more protons and neutrons into a single atom, at some point it gets too stuffed in there.
Pressure creates.
You can think of it as pressure. It's not air pressure or anything like that. But any heavier element can tend to be radioactive.
I'm about to drop a leg. Oh no.
Like
Parts coming off.
Helium is 2, uranium, naturally occurring uranium is 238 is naturally occurring. Okay? Well, it's already, you are radioactive. And I can show you that with my Geiger counter. Okay? Because you have carbon in
but
it.
that's not a part of the equation. If it's non-lethal and part of the environment, that's not what we're talking about.
Okay.
I mean, except the scale is way down there.
Right. It's true. You don't want to receive highly concentrated doses of either of them. Now, some of them are only harmful if they get inside you if you actually eat or breathe them. Okay. Your skin is actually very good at stopping alpha particles. Okay. You can have a fairly intense source of alpha radiation.
Would that be from the sun?
The sun puts out everything.
10.7.
The sun just spits stuff out all the way across the spectrum.
Why is this not working?
So the sun is actually very.
I should have hit an alarm on this already.
Huh.
Oh, it is.
All living
It is.
life.
It is.
And if it wasn't for
Ten-
the ozone,
3.5,
the Earth wouldn't
3.6.
The entire
Bouncing the
atmosphere, the
3.6.
thickness of the atmosphere, yeah.
Oh, I
They're
see.
constantly worried about the astronauts.
Yeah, but I'm getting a lot of noise, and I don't know if it's picking it up because this is so close.
no way to.
I need to reroute this, maybe send it straight down underneath the
Well,
battery.
at least your wiring is better than my wiring.
It stops it
Mine's
to some
just kind of
extent.
everywhere. My wire. But it works.
Like the
That's
difference
it.
between
Yeah, I spent a lot of time on the wiring on this.
And all of the heavier
Hopefully
elements,
it's clean.
Tim, because Tim's not just made out
It's
of
pretty hot.
helium
Okay.
and hydrogen. You have heavier elements in your body. You've got all kinds of things. You're mostly carbon.
oh, there's some lead.
There's lead. There's all kinds of elements, heavier elements in your body. You couldn't live without them. Okay?
So is that where the natural radiation comes from? Is
Yes.
My
Heavier
plants
elements.
on this
uranium
prop
is
right
a very
here
heavy
with my
element.
OSD
Near the
is
end
like
of
there isn't any.
periodic table.
Yeah, that
It's naturally occurring. It was originally
I wouldn't worry about that at all. I'd worry about this. That's gonna hit when you fly, by the way. It will. You'll hear it. It'll go.
It doesn't hit when you
Stayed
fly.
in the
Oh,
supernova
let's see.
explosions of dying other stars
Check the
billions
evidence
of
here.
years ago. It does not form on the Earth.
See it hit right there.
It is. It is. You should watch Cosmos. Okay. It's physics, and that's what he's teaching people is a
This, I mean, this
power.
little. Do you think who's the guy that did Cosmos?
Sagan.
Yeah.
Real Sagan.
Well, it does sometimes hit if I bend it. If I bend it a little bit, it will hit.
If you go back and forwards, it's gonna go.
It's definitely for safe nuclear energy.
Oh,
Which is
wow.
why
Responsibly
Yeah,
run.
that's
Well, actually, what I need is taller motors. That's one reason why I'm not. I'm
Okay.
kind of hesitant
Well,
to say.
you can do safe things around
Motors.
a bonfire, and you can do
It's because
unsafe
they're not
things
really
around
any
a bonfire.
taller than these.
No, they're lower. They'll pull that right down into the. Yeah, you got to put everything under your arms.
Well, but energy is obviously.
Good project, right?
more important to you than to me. I think we ought to.
The other thing I'm looking at, Hobby King has these 10G 2200s, which are
Thinking about it, I even have children.
pretty nice, but the thing is that I'd have to get 40 amp ESCs to use them.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot of amperage. Oh, we're on TV.